Is Toes the mole? Welcome back to a new video, this time about all the hints leading us to Toes as the mole. My name is Julia and I guide you through the mole universe here on this channel and present you hints and theories that will hopefully help you figure out who the mole is. This week we have 3 extra videos, some summary videos in which I tell you all the hints leading to the finalists, so that in the end we will hopefully figure out who the mole is. This video here is about Toes. Tomorrow there will be one about Comfort, and then on Friday one about Lancelot. If you want to make sure not to miss any of those videos, then please subscribe to this channel here and check out my Instagram. If you've watched some of my older summary videos, then you already know that in these kind of videos I only talk about all the hints and theories leading to that person as the mole and not about any anti-mole actions. I just want to mention that all 3 finalists had their anti-mole actions throughout the season, but there are 2 situations which I just have to talk about, and those are Comfort's red screen and Toes' special situation in episode number 1. Both of those situations could be interpreted as anti-mole actions or not, which is why I will mention them, but in general no anti-mole actions in these videos here. So let's finally start with all the hints and theories leading to Toes as the mole. And Toes had a very special start into the season, because he had that duel in episode number 1 against Lancelot. In the end he won that duel and won an exemption, but the question remains whether or not the mole would like to be part of the duel, because losing the duel meant staying away from the group for the whole episode number 1, and the question is, would the mole really risk losing a whole episode? Later in that episode we had that slackline task, and Toes was part of that group and he was the first one to go onto that slackline, and to be honest he kind of said he was good at it, but he didn't really say how good, or let's say that he was very good at it, because it turned out that it was pretty easy for him and that he could have managed to have one of the later positions which got more difficult, and yeah, in the end it was wasted potential, I would say. In episode number 2 we had that task with the train, and Toes' group was responsible for building those nets, and they had to sort some tools into the toolbox to get help from Harry. And as you probably remember, Toes is a carpenter, so he's actually supposed to know what those tools are called, but in the episode he didn't really show that, so there were some mistakes in it and that makes him rather suspicious. Also later in that episode we had that military task, and there were 2 suspicious things happening. The first one was that Toes' group was the only one who didn't finish that running task, so he and Layla didn't finish that task, which meant no money into the pot from them, but to be honest he had to run a lot, so it didn't surprise me that they didn't make it. More importantly is that he ran to the bucket of peeled potatoes, and you know, the peeled potatoes were worth money, well they actually were the money, so losing the potatoes meant losing money, and that is of course what the mole wants. Episode number 3 started with the horseshoe task, and there were 2 suspicious moments concerning those. The first one was that he said that there were 3 instead of 4 Himmelskinder, which then led to the problem that they took the wrong horseshoe, which meant no money for that pair. And he was also talking to Ruben and Lancelot via the portaphone thing, and they told him that one part of a pair was Witje with a J, but he repeated Witze with an S. So that would have led to a wrong pair and to no money again. Later in that episode we had a very special situation in the motel, and the interesting thing is that he told Lancelot not to press that button. And as you know, it was very important to not press that button too often, because the two groups who hadn't pressed it that often had a chance to go to the exemption room in the end. And yeah, that definitely gave us the feeling that he had some knowledge beforehand about that task. In the end, he and Lancelot end up in that exemption room, but they decide not to take any of the exemptions, which then brought some money into the pot. But if he had taken one exemption, then it would have been even more money. It would have been 5,000 euro. Of course, Lancelot didn't want to take any of those, well, things anymore, but Toes went along with it, saying he wanted that the group still trusts him. But still, it does seem suspicious, because it would have been so much more money in the pot. In episode number 4, we had the tunnel task, and he and Thomas make it to the second part of the task, but then he fills in the wrong code. So he looks at Thomas' back, sees the code, but fills in another one, which leads to the problem that he and Thomas both weren't able to get to the Passfragen, making sure that Lancelot and Lancelot were coming down into the tunnel as well. In episode number 6, Toes was in a very important position because he was the bus driver. That's actually probably the most important position in that whole task, because they were supposed to ride at least 20 miles per hour all of the time. If he had, well, used the brackets a little bit more, a little bit stronger, and they would have been slower than 20 miles, then the task would have ended immediately. So that's a very responsible position, and he could have influenced the whole task with just going a little bit slower. And not only that, but he also was the one who in the end decided that they would cut the yellow wire and not the green one, which then meant the wrong wire, the bomb exploded, no money into the pot. Last but not least, in episode number 7, he used way too much pancake batter, and he also seemed very well prepared for all of those little saloon games they had to play, so maybe Toes was a very well prepared mole. Definitely let me know if you think if Toes is the mole or not. Share your opinion down there in the comments below, and also make sure to watch tomorrow's video about Comfort and then the one about Lancelot as well. If you do not want to miss any of those, then subscribe to my channel and you will get an information when those videos come online. Also check out my Instagram, and yeah, tell me what you think about all the hints and theories leading to Toes, and if I have missed any of them. I'll see you back next time. Bye!